Magica? I want to call her Magica. Magic. I kind of like the way he looks. Look at him. Got himself Shroud as Cobra, trying to see if he can get himself a little bit of a setup back behind the pillar. I like the name too, Cobra. It's like Cobra. But Cobra, I'm gonna call it one of those two things. Disintegrate in the opener, got himself the Shroud, so technically cannot get CC'd by Cobra. Try to go for a quick root, walking next to him with a Shatter, G-Breath to follow. The pet could interrupt you if you do go for casting. That's gonna be a bit of mute. He does get an interrupt onto Cobra. The portal is gonna try to get some damage going. Eternity Surge, that is gonna do a bit of damage. I'll try to see if he can back up out of there. The interrupt could be pretty bad. Does still have Shroud, and actually is immuning the CC for a bit with that Shroud back to back as Shane. Oh my god, 13 months, yo, Shane. Can we get a hashtag Shane? My boy, appreciate you, bud. Interrupt onto Magic's not in a great spot. Looking for a bit of a heal as Cobra looking to pressure him with a stun around the corner. Catches him with a quick bounds of fell. Magic's trying to get himself a bit of healing. Quick breath, trying to go for Living Flames. If the next interrupt comes out, I think it's going to be over. Incinerate might just end him right now. Looking for a bit of healing. Instant cast Living Flames used in order to keep himself alive and healthy. But the next interrupt by the pet, I think, could be the end of him. Got himself big mastery, but this got himself the most amount of output, looking to build himself up a bit of resources. Does go for the immunity as the portal is up blue, getting cast off. Front up for Cobra. Mortal does catch him very, very quickly. That is a rough one. As a devastation, once you get locked down with CC and fall behind, I feel like for that class, the self-healing does end up kind of falling off pretty quickly. Cobra trying to see if he can pour towards the pillar, but getting caught by Zinderella? Is that the name? Balloon Demon is going to zap you once, but that torrent does end up eating away at Cobra together with the mind games as well as these tentacles. It is doing a number on this man right now. The dude's just trying to see if he can find himself a bit of cover. Tentacles not helping the situation. Does still have the Balloon Demon out in the open. Silence onto Cobra. The man is super low in health. Does go for the Soul Stone, Hellstone. That's going to be Cinderella. Break it out of that succubus CC using Shadow Ward Death, which will continuously keep hitting their face every time you use it. Got himself Reflect. Mortal for Cobra with a Fear to Fall. Chaos Bolt onto Zen. Does Zen go for Disperse? Might have to. Maybe. Oh, a bunch of you guys just got caught there. Zen. Oh, your health does go for the Desperate Prayer into Disperse. That's too much damage. Together with the Fiery Portal, that's just way too much output all in a single go. Cobra just needs a good angle. But for Zen, it's actually a decent spot. Second CC, super short. Cobra trying to see if he can recover some health by eating up the Evoker. Unless Zen pushes in, that is going to be a bit of recovery for this man right now. As he's mounted up, trying to see if he can get himself a decent angle. Zen with a quick fear around the corner, trick it out of Cobra. Does get himself a bit of defensives. For Zen, he just got to wait out the dark back, and he'll be golden. Also got to be very, very careful with that Observer Demon up in the air. You actually get yourself line of sight of that thing, and I think you're going to end up killing it. Succubus CC for just a second. Binds a fell for a moment. Fear to follow. Soulfire trying to see if he can set up a big combo. That's going to be decent combo together with a Mortal running away from the pillar. Fear is going to keep you running in that direction. Chaos Bolt does connect. Zen trying to go for a fade, but a little bit late. Silence of the Cobra at least does slow down his pressure for a moment. Fear on both the pet as well as the Warlock does give Zen maybe an opportunity to have a go. Just looking to get some dots set up onto Cobra and just going in for a bit of a reset behind the pillar. Taking quite a bit of damage too. Needs to go for a big go at some point. I think it might be over. PI is available. It does end up fading of the stun, but it's just over. That's so much pressure. The portals themselves continuously just keep rocking out damage. It's just not much you can do. Smog going to be up next. Trying to go for a Oppressive Breath onto Cobra. Does set up the pet as well as the Warlock. Full stun on the guy as he is rooted for just a second. It's going to go for a bit of Reflect. Eruptions back up to for Cobra. Does not get to Reflect. Eruptions, they do AoE damage, not single target. So he can't really properly reflect it back in the Evoker. And the Evoker, the augmentation, trying to catch Cobra. Succubus for just a second. Does break out of it with a Trinket. Still taking damage from the Observer Demon up above Fear, but Cobra got no help whatsoever. Smog just needs a little bit more damage. Plenty of survivability with that shielding. Got himself a caster too, and Cobra I think is just done. One more eruption does end up taking him, and Smog being an augmentation has a little bit of that healing aspect, has a bit of that support aspect. Should be able to catch up quite a bit of health. Katarina putting in the pressure. Ring of Fire as well as Ring of Frost weaving together, interwoven, interlinked. A Smog knocking the guy up in the air for just a second, looking for a sleep. Trying to see if he can disrupt some of the damage. He may need some kind of defensive here. Looking to catch up. There's still a big touch of the magic on him. Looking to grip in the warrior just to give himself a shield. Perfectly okay with it. I'm fine with him. I'm fine with it. Normally for Evokers, if that's what you need to survive, if you gotta grip somebody just to give yourself a shield, I'm okay with it. Got himself a little bit of that time warp. Or time, whatever the hell. Just resetting a lot of his cooldowns with, I forget what the ability name is. Got himself full burst. Knock up onto Katarina, looking for a stun. Doesn't quite connect though. I don't know how the stun didn't connect. That should have been a stun to slam him on the floor and to go for a bit of damage. Eruptions do end up doing quite a bit of damage towards Katarina. Trying to go for a kick. There goes the poly. For Katarina, maybe that's an opportunity to have a go. Ring of Fire and touch the magic onto Smog with missiles, especially if you get yourself the tier set proc or missiles. That could be huge amount of damage. Smog just trying to get himself a little bit of survivability. Got himself another grip. Just going to be able to get himself a shield. That's actually pretty good. I'm okay with that. I am perfectly okay with this, by the way. I am perfectly okay. If Voker needs us for survivability, I'm alright with it. Got himself burst. Katarina back it up. It's a little bit of a chess match. One makes a move, then the other makes a move. Does catch him in a deep breath. That could potentially be quite a bit of damage, though. Gives him a lust, but can't really go on and follow up damage with that lust though. That is unfortunate. Needs to get good kick, good interrupt into Living Flames, Fire Breath. That's actually going to be a bit of damage on the cat too, and the Smog can get himself a couple of those eruptions around the corner. He might be okay, but Smog is at no mana whatsoever. This guy actually might not be able to cast some of his basic combat spells. Just a lot of those abilities actually cost a decent amount of mana, not a hefty amount, but just enough to like, you might not be able to cast eruptions at that point. Does get locked down for a second on his earthy black Dragonflight spells without eruption. Is trying to see if he can blast him out, touch the magic, everything. Oh, I think it just might be over. Smog, unless he lives, does catch it up very quick with a shield. Just trying to maximize his cooldowns. Nullifying Shroud, just immune CC, looking for an interrupt, doesn't quite get it. I think trying to go for deep breath. Is that what it was? Or maybe not. Upheaval onto Katarina. Does go for the root this time with the stun. That's going to be a sleep. Maybe potentially poly for Cat, trying to get another setup. Arcade Surge, Sleepwalk, should interrupt ya. Oh, it does go for the trinkets. For Smog, might not be in a great spot. Does get interrupted. Nullifying Shroud. I don't know if he's got any more survivability. Try to go for healing. 35% dampen is going to make it a little bit harder. I think it might be over. Yeah, for Katarina. That is a tough one, man. That's just like dampening does eventually give you very, very little chances to do stuff. Minura does go in with a charge. What is a Smog? I like it. What is that? It's like the avatar is blocking a lot of a chain link with like a shirt or whatever. Fury Warrior charging out of Katarina. But man, that's gonna be rough though. Warriors and mages, it's just such a one-sided towards mages. Are not fully one-sided, but like an arcade mage could definitely dance around circles around a warrior. We've seen that multiple times over. Even Talrion, my boy, has a hard time. And Katarina, who is Jayhawk, blasts it. Blast warriors. I mean, that's some Seavark levels play here, man. Got himself a Reflect. Minura got himself a bit of defense, trying to dampen as much magic as he can from Katarina, who's just building up a massive touch of the Magi. It is going to slam Minura for quite a bit of damage. With the roots to follow, Arcane Missiles, unless you can close the gap and find line of sight. He got you in a good spot. You're not even close to a pillar. It's just over with a barrage just right through the heart, piercing it. With Kiosko as the last one, too. Trying to see if he can bring a comeback for his team over for the team one. Man, got himself... I love that lightsaber combination we got going on. On Katarina, we got ourselves the mage holding the fort, but Ragnarok way in the back here. We got ourselves Lord, we got ourselves... Now, we got everybody there holding the fort, and Kiosk has to go through a lot of them. As a hunter, normally, I think this is what's important to point out here. Normally, hunters dominate mages when it comes to 1v1s. Because that physical damage, death chakram, kill shots, all that damage goes through mage's armor so easily, and you can remove the mage's shielding by tranquilizing it. So that's usually super one-sided, but ever since the reward, the armor changes, for Katarina, you actually might have a lot more survivability versus the hunter, and a lot more of an even match. Kiosko went in for a full burst. Katarina does go for the block just to reset it. It looked like your neck was like in a snapping angle for a second. I was gonna look around to see like, does it look like your neck snap? Nah, it's leaning. It's leaning, but not completely just like dislocated or anything. Not yet, at least. Kioska trying to see if he could weave in a couple of grenades while being right around the corner. Yes, charging towards Katarina while the open. Kill shots are still doing a number. Death Shotgun does a number of damage too. Grenades are doing so much. Oh, kill shot doesn't appear to right through it. The actual armor does give the mage a lot more survivability than before, but not enough in order to keep himself fully afloat. Medic manages quickly for Kioski to remove the bleeding, as there is going to be a thunderous roar out of Ragnarok. The guy got himself Reflect in case there's a freezing trap waiting for him. Stone onto Kioski, Warbreaker right after. He got himself the scatter shot to make sure he has more than one way to disrupt Ragnarok without necessarily having to rely solely on that freezing trap. He also is able to disarm the guy as well. So he's got his whole kit built for CC and control and mitigating the enemy's damage, whether they are a caster, whether they are a melee. So that's actually pretty good for Kiosko. The guy's gonna have to take it a little bit slower here because he's not a great amount of health unless he can catch himself exhilarations, which honestly might just want to start burning those as soon as possible at 55% dampening. Or camos, that's another thing. Ragnarok hit with a Hunter's Mark. The guy is going to take a bit of damage in the opener. Trying to see if he can find Kiosko. Does end up finding him exactly where he's at with a Shockwave Scatter again for Kiosko. No more trick available for Ragnarok. That's a perfect opportunity for a stun. Big Fear of the Eagle, massive crit buff. That Death Shock is still doing a number. Ragnarok disarmed as he goes in for a fear. The man can only do so much. Warbreaker to Kiosko, but it is very limiting in terms of how much damage he can do. Still able to catch a bit of few mortal strikes onto Kiosko, able to create a distance away from Ragnarok. As long as you keep him dotted, keep him taking damage, that second win should not come into play anytime soon unless Ragnarok can escape Kiosko for long enough. Then for Kiosko, it's a reset that he doesn't want to fight into. The pet charges him, does throw in a trap. He's able to avoid it with a quick charge right towards the hunter with the reflect available in case there's a freezing trap waiting for him. Does go in for a flank check at the very end and is able to take him out. Kiosko had to play that one super slow and steady, but that is exactly how he was going to win that one. Otherwise, I don't really know if he could have done it easily. Quick Imprison onto Kiosko, immediately trinkets it. He doesn't want to let Demon Hunter get any kind of setup. Trick out of the H2, goes in for a stun. Kiosko knows there's not much he can really do here because a full Haunt stun comes in. Scatter is available in between it, but Death Shock, oh, it's over. It's over. The Demon Hunter does catch him. As soon as you get a trinket out of Kiosko, he knows the next stun is going to be it. 2 for Cat, 2 for Kiosko, 2 for Cobra, but that team too did end up holding the fort and doing really well at the end of the day. Let's get us another one going, boys. Unless you guys need more bodies, so let me know and we'll get you guys back.